Hey everybody, welcome to my plant-based kitchen. Can't wait for you guys to come inside. Let's get busy. Hey guys, welcome back to Kimberly's Plant-Based Kitchen. We're here today. We're going to be starting this amazing series, and it's going to be about inflammation. And I'm going to be showing you guys how to do some great meals or some different types of food that will help with inflammation. I had sarcoidosis, and that's an anti-inflammatory type of condition, an autoimmune system condition. So one of the things that I had to deal with was finding different foods that wouldn't cause my body to have a reaction to, the inflammation and different things that were going on with me. So I have several different really delicious foods that are going to make you feel good. They're going to taste good. And I can't wait to show you guys. So today in our series, we're going to do stuffed mushrooms. They're so good. We're going to use our black wild rice. We're going to make a green chimichurri sauce to go on top, you guys. It's so good. So we're also going to be using some of our amazing spices today. We're going to be using some of the American spice, which is smoked salt. And then we're also going to use some of the Cuban mojo. And we're going to add all of that to our stuffed mushrooms. We're going to put a little vegan cheese on top. I found these really great breadcrumbs that I use. I've probably used them on here before. And these are gluten-free, soy-free, none of the bad stuff in them. And they have a great flavor. So we're going to use those. We're going to stuff our mushrooms and let's get started. We already have our rice cooked here. So I pre-cooked our black wild rice. So we're going to set that to the side for just a second because we're going to start off with our vegan Parmesan cheese. And walnuts. We're going to use walnuts for these. So the recipe usually calls for cashews, but since we're doing anti-inflammatory recipes, and walnuts are super good for inflammation, we'll definitely be using the walnuts. So we're going to use 3/4 cup of walnuts. And you can pick up walnuts from any grocery store. Try and get the organic walnuts if possible. These can be eaten as a snack. Anybody, I was just watching something the other day, and they were talking about the blue zones. I don't know if anybody's familiar with the blue zones, but those are areas in the world, all over the world, where people live, and they usually live up to 100 or past 100. And scientists have been doing all this different research on why are they living so long, what kind of lifestyle do they lead, and what kind of food are they eating. So they've been going all over the world, and one of the big things, of course, is like walnuts and all these different anti-inflammatory foods that they're eating. But it just depends on, what culture it is. The foods totally vary, and they're all different. But I thought that was super interesting. We have several in the United States, and there are a few here in California. The closest one to me, I was really surprised, is Loma Linda. So I'm like, what are they doing down in Loma Linda? I gotta find out. So we're gonna do this series, you guys, about how to eat foods that are going to help you live longer, fight inflammation. So make sure you go and check out the Blue Zones because it was really, really interesting. A lot of information about just living longer and having a good quality of life. Because really, it wasn't all about the food. It was a lot about how these people were really enjoying life and getting out and having fun, even in their 90s. So I was like, that's what I'm about. So let's continue with our Parmesan cheese. We got our walnuts in here. We're going to do some garlic powder. We're going to do a teaspoon of garlic powder. So it's going to have some nice flavor. I love this Parmesan cheese. You can keep it in your refrigerator for like about 2 weeks after you make it. And you can use it on so many different things. Pizza, sandwiches, pasta, popcorn. We're going to use 3 tablespoons of the nutritional yeast. So I was really surprised at the flavor and how it really mimicked real Parmesan. So you will not be disappointed. So we got 3 tablespoons of that. And we're going to do a 1/4 teaspoon of sea salt. Okay. And this is so easy. All you have to do is grind all of this up together in your blender. 2 minutes at the most. doesn't take long at all. I'm gonna spin it a few more times. Just want to make sure everything is all, yeah, that looks wonderful. Okay, smells good. We're gonna set this to the side until we're ready for that. We're gonna start putting together our mixture for the insides of our stuffing. We have our black wild rice here. We're going to use a cup of the breadcrumbs. Let's say a half a cup, because we're going to use some Parmesan cheese too. So let's do a half a cup of the breadcrumbs, and these are gluten-free, soy-free, nut-free, all the free stuff that we don't need. We're going to do that. We're going to chop up some garlic. Let me go over to the pantry and get our garlic. Okay, we have our garlic here. We're going to do about 2 cloves of garlic. It's going to give it some wonderful flavor. So crack those open, chop them up, and we're going to dump those in here. And I don't know about you guys, but I love mushrooms. One of my favorite items. Stuffed mushrooms, I slice them up and I'll just saute them, put them in pastas. There's so many different things you can do with them. So this is a really fun recipe that you can definitely use as an appetizer when you're having friends over, especially since it's the holiday season. It would be an amazing time to make these mushrooms. Everybody loves them. When I used to do them, I would also do seafood. So I was so happy when I found a way to make them with plant-based, and they were still really delicious. And I found the cheese that worked really good with them, because you know when you have stuffed mushrooms, especially like the seafood ones, you want that delicious crusty cheese on top. So we have our diet cheese, and then we have the Parmesan. It's going to make it so good. So I'm just going to chop this up just a little bit more. You want this to be minced. You don't want big chunks of garlic. So just make sure this is really minced down. And we're going to add that to our rice mixture. And this calls for a little bit of olive oil. I have some basil olive oil that we're going to use. That's going to make it delicious. Calls for a little bit of low sodium vegetable broth. And just a tiny bit, guys. So I'm going to use like maybe a half of a fourth. So not a lot at all. We don't want it to be watery. Just give it a little flavor, the vegetable broth. And then we are going to go in with our basil organic olive oil. And olive oil is really good for inflammation also. Make sure that you get a really good olive oil. This one is really good. I get it from the farmer's market. We'll put that in your recipe so you'll have it. I'm pretty sure you can order it online also. So we have our breadcrumbs in there, our garlic, we have our oil. We're going to add a little bit of sea salt. And then we're going to add some of our Cuban Mojo seasoning. Okay. And we're going to add some of this Parmesan cheese. Of course, that's what we made it for. So let's see our Cuban Mojo here. I'm going to add a little bit of this. Just sprinkle some on there. And this is going to give it some yummy flavor. And of course, you guys can pick these up online. Let's do a little bit of our Parmesan cheese. We're going to do Parmesan cheese inside of our stuffed mushrooms, and we're going to top it off with some of this too. And the chimichurri sauce that we're going to make is going to be so good. So we're going to do let's do 3. We're going to do 3 tablespoons of the Parmesan. And we're just going to mix all this together. And then we're going to get our mushrooms and we're going to stuff them. This could even be like, I would eat this for lunch with a salad, especially when I was meal prepping and I worked in the salon and I wasn't at home. This would make like the perfect lunch. They're even delicious, room temperature. But these only take a second in the oven. And speaking of the oven, let me preheat that. so we can have that going. Okay, we're going to preheat this oven, and it's going to go on 400 degrees. Alrighty. Okay, so we have this together, all stirred up, and then you can always just take a little bite, test it out, and see what it's tasting like. Delicious. Yummy. Let's add just a tad bit more salt. Just a tad bit, a little sprinkle. Not too much. But I think that flavor is amazing, especially with that basil olive oil. Yum. Okay, guys, so we have that together. We have our mushrooms over here. Just going to bring these over. We're going to cut out the little mushroom stem. So we're going to get that out of our way. These are already cleaned. And if you like, you can just take a wet cloth and you can clean your mushroom with that. Or you can rinse them really good in the underneath the water. Just depends on how you like to do it. I like to rinse mine to make sure all the dirt gets out. Okay, so now we're just going to carefully cut our stems out. So we're just going to take those out so then we can stuff them. These are cremini mushrooms, one of my favorite. You can use mushroom of your choice, but try to get them big if you can, so then you can really stuff them. Because usually if I would take these for lunch or have them for dinner, I could have like 4 of these large ones and be satisfied with a salad. Uh-oh, be careful with this knife. Okay. So just kind of cut one side and then just twist the rest out. So then you're not risking poking your finger through the bottom of the mushroom. Okay. So yeah, these are super easy to make, really quick. And you're getting a lot of good healthy stuff inside of them. Our chimichurri sauce is going to be made with parsley, cilantro. So you're going to be getting some good greens in, along with your walnuts and your wild rice. So this is going to be a well-balanced meal or snack. Okay. Alrighty, so now let's put these in our dish. Or put our dish over here so we can start loading these in. And what we're actually going to do, I'm sorry guys, first, we're going to put our mushrooms in. And we're going to cook them just for like about 5 minutes. Just to get them a little soft, especially because they're so big. So we want to make sure we soften them up just a little bit. So then when we put our stuffing in and we put our Parmesan and our cheese on top, they're only going to go back in for like maybe 10 minutes. 10, maybe 12 minutes. So let's put these in for about maybe 6 to 8 minutes. Just to soften them up a little bit. Alright, perfect. And while those are cooking, I'm going to set up for our chimichurri sauce and we'll be right back, guys. Okay, guys, let's put together our chimichurri sauce. It's going to be yummy. I love a good sauce. I want to show you guys several different sauces that you can use on so many different things. I think that just livens up any dish, whether it's plant-based or not. A good sauce, good rich flavorful sauce. So that's our oregano I'm putting in there. We're going to dump everything in this food processor because it's just going to be a whole lot easier. This is the serrano chili pepper. And we're just going to take the seeds out. We don't want it to be too spicy, so I'm just going to discard the seeds. And we're just going to put the pepper in. And we're going to put in some shallot. So this is going to be 1 like medium-sized shallot. Dump that in. We have 4 cloves of garlic. And we're going to put in about a ½ cup of cilantro. Where are my handy-dandy scissors? I just had them here somewhere. Here they are. So this is all nice and clean already. So we're just going to dump that in there. It's about a ½ cup. Okay. And then we're going to do about 1/3 of a cup of fresh parsley. Okay. Put that in there. This green sauce is so good, you guys. I don't know if you've ever had it before, but if you haven't, I promise you, you're going to enjoy it. We're going to use, let's see, let me check my recipe here. just to be sure. And our mushrooms are in there. So we're gonna make sure we check on those. Those have about 3 more minutes. Make sure those are cooking. We're gonna do half a cup of red wine vinegar. And all this can just go in all at one time, and then we're just going to turn the food processor on. So half a cup of red wine vinegar. We're going to use a little olive oil. Okay. Put that in there. And we're going to do some sea salt, of course. About a teaspoon of sea salt. And just kind of eye it. If we need a little more, we'll add it. And let's see, we got our oregano. Let's do a 3/4 cups of olive oil. Let's get our milk. This one isn't olive oil. This is our olive oil. So where's our 4th cup? We're going to do 3 of these, 3 of the 4th cups. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. 1. We're going to turn this on and pulse it and let it go for a few minutes. Yum. Perfect. We're going to get a nice little bowl to put this in. We'll taste it. And just get a little taste to make sure all the flavors are there. Yummy. Perfect, you guys. Okay, we're going to put this to the side. Check on our mushrooms. And take those out. And we're going to start stuffing those so we can put them back in the oven. Okay guys, we're back. We got our mushrooms out, so we just pre-cooked them a little bit, and they will have a little bit of juice in the side, so you can just empty that juice out so it doesn't, get your stuffing all watery. Okay, just one more. Mushrooms carry a lot of moisture and water in them, so let's do that. Now we can start stuffing them. We can get this out of the way. And let's just put this on our cutting board. We can move this out of our way. All right. And let's grab us a spoon and we'll get to stuffing here. And this is super easy and quick. You're just going to take your mushroom and make sure you get it down in there. And don't do like me. Let your mushrooms cool off first. These are still a little hot, but we'll be okay. So stuff them nicely so they kind of sit up. Some of the stuffing sits up. Okay. And then after we get these all stuffed, kind of hot. After we get these all stuffed, we're going to put our vegan cheese and our Parmesan cheese on top and put them back in the oven. We'll be right back. I'm going to let you guys see how I put the cheese on top. Okay, so I have all the rest of these are already done. So we're going to, let me just wash my hands really quick. We're going to put our cheese on. So let's start with a little bit of our Parmesan. I'm going to start with some Parmesan. Yes, we are topping these off with a little Parmesan on the top. Yummy. Okay, is this a great anti-inflammatory recipe or what, you guys? Walnuts, mushrooms, yummy olive oil. You cannot beat this. Okay. Another Parmesan there. And we're going to do a little bit of our Daya mozzarella. So we're just going to go around each one and put a little mozzarella on top. This is also soy-free. Yummy. Okay, you can't beat this plant-based meal, you guys. This awesome, amazing little snack here. Or meal. Like I said, I put a salad with it and it was a perfect and filling meal. All right, we're gonna drizzle this just with a little olive oil and we're gonna pop these back in the oven. So just a little drizzle of olive oil on top. Go. Yummy. These are gonna bake up. We're gonna put some chimichurri sauce on top, and they're gonna be delicious. So we're gonna put these back in here so our cheese and everything can melt and get all toasty. So about maybe 10 to 12 minutes. And we'll keep an eye on that, and we'll be right back, guys, when we're ready to plate it up. Okay, guys, we're back. Our mushrooms are done. They look amazing. We're gonna take these out. We're gonna set them up. Tell me those don't look absolutely delicious. You guys, these are gonna be so good. And we're definitely gonna put a little more Parmesan on them just to garnish them. And we're gonna drizzle a little bit of our chimichurri on top. Yummy. You guys, come on now. Get this recipe, like I always tell you. Download it and get ready to get in that kitchen and get to cooking. Looks beautiful. Tastes even better. Just wipe my hands really quick. Let's just sprinkle a little more Parmesan. It won't hurt at all. Because of course this is made of walnuts. So we're doing a good thing. Okay? And then we're just going to drizzle a little bit of our delicious chimichurri that has a little bit of a bite to it. Yum. Come on, you guys. Olive oil, walnuts, mushrooms, parsley. We got some cilantro in here. Yummy, healthy, tasty. Get in your kitchens. Get your recipe. Get busy. Have these for your next event. You'll be the talk of the town. Thanks, guys. See you guys next time. Peace and blessings.